Ah, yes, the Transformers movies. We have 7 live-action films now, 5 of which were directed by Michael Bay, and 3 of which starred Shia LaBeouf. Today, I'm talking about those 3 Transformers movies, and explain why I think they were actually good. Welcome to Cinema with Sven. Okay, I get why some people hate Michael Bay's Transformers movies, and trust me, I hate a few of them too, but when people get angry about the 3 with Shia LaBeouf, I really don't get it. I'm not calling any installment a masterpiece, but I don't understand how people get no entertainment out of these movies. If we're talking mindless fun with incredible action sequences, spectacular visuals, and even some great humor, the original Transformers trilogy works. If you went into these blockbusters expecting more than movies based on toys, you went into those theater experiences with the wrong mindset. While I think 2018's Bumblebee is the best formula for a franchise of this caliber, providing both entertainment and heart, Michael Bay's Transformers trilogy gave us that adrenaline-pumping, gritty, epic filmmaking that a lot of action movies no longer seem to capture. Oddly enough, in the Bad Boys franchise, a favorite among many fans is Bad Boys 2. And lo and behold, it was directed by Michael Bay. But the style of Bad Boys 2 is the same thing we see from Shia's Transformers movies. So what's with the love for one and hate for the other? Let's start from the beginning. Transformers in 2007. Back in the late 2000s, Shia LaBeouf was in everything. As a kid, I grew up watching him in Even Stevens, so the moment he began getting cast in blockbusters like Transformers, it was surreal. Speaking of surreal, Megan Fox. When I was 11 years old and Revenge of the Fallen came out, I swear I was in love with this woman. I mean, in real life, could a high school outcast like Sam Witwicky land the hottest chick in school? Knowing teenagers nowadays, it's very unlikely. Unless one of those nerdy teenagers were to somehow save the world, then he'd probably have a chance. Keep dreaming, boys. Anyway, regardless of whether Shia was the right pick to play Sam, I have a great time watching him in these movies to this day. He plays a nerdy teen very well, and that's relatable, but he's also kooky and kind of a spaz, making for some really funny scenes and top-tier banter between himself and his parents. So for what Michael Bay wrote this character as, I like Shia as the pick. Megan Fox, on the other hand, is very one-dimensional. She's just there to be hot, and of course she does that well. Acting-wise, that's another story, and I'll get to that in a bit. The strongest aspect of the first Transformers movie is hands down the visual effects, which were way ahead of their time in 2007. Seriously, these VFX look better than 90% of action movies we see nowadays. The effects were groundbreaking. So good that 2 of 3 entries were nominated for Best Visual Effects at the Oscars. Somehow, they didn't win either time though. They should have snagged at least 1 Academy Award for visuals. However, visual effects aren't the only big takeaway from the 2007 film. I really like the cinematography as well. Some have complained it's too gritty like other Michael Bay movies, but come on. Look how many iconic shots there are in the first Transformers. So many cool shots. I think the music is severely underrated too. I'll find myself throwing on songs like Scorponok on repeat every now and then when I'm trying to replicate that main character in a movie vibe. The score adds to the overall epicness of this film, which by the way is super freaking epic. And damn, are the action sequences entertaining, particularly the final 40 minutes. Just an all-around technical spectacle. Now some may disagree on this point, but I truly believe the first Transformers is funny as hell. Listen, I get it. A lot of the humor is crude and really dumb. It's also very sexual at times for some reason. And obviously, people love to criticize Michael Bay's sex jokes, as well as his weird camera angles of Megan Fox. But this movie is actually really funny. Just go back and give it a chance. Bay's writing alongside the comedic timing from actors like LaBeouf, Kevin Dunn, Anthony Anderson, etc. makes for some laugh-out-loud moments. Now, when it comes to negatives of the first movie, yeah, some of the dialogue is indeed pretty bad. A lot of that is the strange sex jokes, and other times it's just straight up cringeworthy and unnecessary tacked on dialogue. It doesn't help that Megan Fox does a terrible job acting in the second half of the movie. She's passable early on, but towards the back half, she's not good. The plot is also thin. Decepticons want this cube called the Allspark to transform our technology to take over the world and universe. And well, that's pretty much it. Yeah, not much there. But at the end of the day, Michael Bay made a good first installment for his Transformers franchise. And even now, I could have a blast watching it on repeat. Then, in 2009, Revenge of the Fallen came to theaters, and again, I get it. This movie is in fact stupid. The film is filled throughout with even more sex jokes. The plot goes for something bigger, but it just becomes convoluted, and the 2.5-hour runtime is turn your brain off nonsense. However, to this day, I have a great time watching Revenge of the Fallen, no matter how flawed it is. You still have what made the first movie good: the epicness, fantastic score, incredible VFX, entertaining Transformers action, etc. Plus, I do find some of the humor funny again in Revenge of the Fallen. But don't get me wrong, there's plenty of issues. The dialogue is pretty bad once more here, whether it's from the human characters or Transformers. As stated, the runtime feels bloated, plus the plot really took me out from the excitement happening on screen. There's these machines that Transformers use to take energy from different stars across the universe, but a Transformer known as the Fallen built one of those machines on Earth, which is against the rules, I guess, as they never build machines on planets with life. So the Primes defeat him, and now he's back to get his revenge and steal our sun's energy, killing Earth in the process. That's a basic gist of Revenge's plot. But there's even more to it than that, with half of the film focusing on a race to recover shards from the Allspark, alongside a variety of subplots and new human characters / Transformers who get introduced. So there's a lot going on. Also, the Fallen just isn't a good villain. Megatron blows this guy out of the water. He's barely in the movie, and quite literally, when he gets down to Earth's surface, he gets killed by Optimus Prime in a matter of minutes. His design is really cool, but villain-wise, he's not formidable, which is weird considering his name is in the film's title. I can see people getting annoyed by the roommate Leo, who just whines and screams the entire movie, and hating the subplot with the female Decepticon at college, who seduces Sam. The thing for me, though, is I don't mind those things. I really don't mind the nitpicks as a whole that people have with this one. Actually, I find the college stuff all pretty entertaining and funny. Shia LaBeouf does a good job at selling every scene here in Revenge of the Fallen. So I had a good time with all the banter and shenanigans going on with his character. Sure, Leo is pretty irritating, and the hot girl subplot is unnecessary and strange, but I still love the antics in these scenes. Everything at the college is just a meme, especially this scene where Sam rambles on and twitches in front of the class, with Dwight Schrute looking on in disgust. Out of all things, most importantly, Revenge of the Fallen keeps you entertained. Unlike Mark Wahlberg's Transformers movies, which are extremely boring. Yes, they could have toned down on the sex jokes, the characters and stories could have been cut shorter and written better, but at the end of the day, this is a Transformers flick. We will never get some insanely good Oscar film in the form of Transformers. I look at Revenge of the Fallen and ask myself, did I have a good time watching that? Oh hell yeah, I did. I'd take watching something as mindless as this any day of the week. Plus, John Turturro is a gem. The haters will complain about his character, but the real OGs agree he's maybe the best character these films have to offer. That then leads us into Transformers: Dark of the Moon. It's been years since I've seen any of these movies, so my reaction to seeing who's in the cast in Dark of the Moon was like this. Alright Alright, so the first hour of Dark of the Moon is very heavy on exposition and setup. There's a whole lot going on, and it can drag. You do have the entertaining storylines with Sam again to keep things moving though. He's looking for a job, going to multiple interviews in the process, and we get a love triangle between him, his new girlfriend Carly, and Patrick Dempsey's Dylan. I found all of these scenes amusing on rewatch, and a bulk of the film's humor took place during these moments. But Dark of the Moon spends so much time on the Autobots and Decepticons plot in this entry that it becomes a bore early on. The first movie was so basic, but as the films progressed, it got increasingly more convoluted. But the second half picks up the pace and turns into an all-out sci-fi epic. The perfect way to end this trilogy. There's no shortage of action, and you get some pretty emotional moments too, to my surprise. Ever since the first time I watched Dark of the Moon, I noticed how similar the Avengers finale felt to this movie's. Well, that's part of the reason why I don't have a ton of respect for the Avengers. It kind of just copied this movie's finale and in less epic fashion. In summary, Dark of the Moon was a moneymaker back in 2011. It's equal in entertainment value to entries 1 and 2. It might be the most epic Transformers movie to date, and I don't think there was a better way to end this trilogy. I'm glad Shia got his trilogy in, unlike Megan Fox, unfortunately. From start to finish, Shia's Transformers movies are much better than you think, and I consider all 3 actually good. It's a shame Bay had to continue making these because what came after Dark of the Moon was a complete disaster. Nonetheless, we have these fun movies to look back on, and I'll always be happy about that, as they've been comfort movies of mine since release. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think Shia LaBeouf's Transformers movies are good? Let me know in the comments. Alright guys, so I happened to see Deadpool and Wolverine already, which means I'm gonna have a ranking video ready for you this weekend of all 3 Deadpool movies, so look out for that. And of course, as always, thank you all so much for watching this video essay. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys later this weekend. See you then.